Today I have another book haul for you, and we have 5 books this time, all from a WaterStones trip. So me and Matt decided, we had a week off work and we decided to have a book date. Now for people who are not bookworms, a book date is in general where you and your partner go to a bookshop and spend a lot of time just browsing books together, and it's the bookworm's dream. For us that also means a coffee shop trip, so we always go to the bookshop, then go to the coffee shop and enjoy just admiring our books, maybe reading a book with a nice cuppa and a piece of cake or sandwiches. And it's a fantastic day, and I had a wonderful time with my partner Matt. However, he is a bookworm. Now this is a cardinal sin of any bookworm. He bought no books. 0. Not one. He carried one around for a little bit and then he put it back. I was like, babes, we are on a book date and you have not bought any books? I was like, what on earth? So obviously I overcompensated for him and bought 5. Could it have been worse? Yes, it could have. But today, I'm going to go through the books that I got on this book haul. There's a bit of a theme to the first 3. Before I get into that, if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Your continued support means lots, so thank you guys so much. And also, it's been a while since I have mentioned this actually, but if you like the t-shirt that I'm wearing, this is my band Wooden Elephants. We have t-shirts, we have albums, and we are on all of the online, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon, whatever you want, we're on it. If you're interested in our album, it is instrumental, mostly piano and acoustic guitar or acoustic guitars. And we got this amazingly gorgeous elephant on there, so little plug there for you. But let's go into the books that I bought on this book haul. So book number 1 is one that's been on my list to buy. I've been putting it off. I've tried to stop myself and I finally failed. It is Days at the Morizaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagasawa. It has a cat on the cover. It's Japanese translated literature. It was inevitable. I'm a sucker, but look how gorgeous that cover is, guys. And it's so shiny. Look at the book shine. I'll read you guys the blurb to this one. A tale of families, love, new beginnings, and the comfort that can be found in books. From the beginning of summer to early spring, I lived at the Morizaki Bookshop. I spent that period of my life in the spare room on the 2nd floor of the store, trying to bury myself in books. The cramped room barely got any light and everything felt damp. It smelled constantly of musty old books. But I will always remember the days I spent there, because that's where my real life began. And I know without a doubt that if not for those days, the rest of my life would have been bland, monotonous, and lonely. The Morizaki Bookshop is precious to me. It's a place I know I'll never forget. If you're not new to my channel, you'll know I seem to be going through a bit of a Japanese translated literature phase, specifically ones dealing with life in general, and I am excited to read this. It is translated by Eric Arzawa. Book number 1. Book number 2 was completely accidental and was not one that I thought of before I went in, but we have If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki Kawamura. Or is it Genkai Kawamura? Apologies, I can't pronounce names, but Japanese translated literature with a cat on the cover. You can see a theme occurring here. What really made me pick this up is, if you guys don't know, one of my favourite books of all time is The Guest Cat by Takashi Hirade. I have done a review of that. That link is above me now. And that is written by a Japanese poet. And it is such a beautiful book. I don't know what it is, but I reread it every year. And it's just really stuck with me. It is gorgeous. And this book, it has the same feel, and it's from the same publishing house, so it's the same material used in the book, so I instantly recognized. And I've not seen anything else by that publisher that's of this style, so I knew I had to pick it up. And since I picked it up, I had friends say they read it and enjoyed it, so that has intrigued me. But beautiful. I mean, the cat's eyes shine. It's gonna have a cat in it. It's gonna have a cat, and I'm so happy and ready for a cat. But second, completely accidental find, because when I say I was on a book date, I scanned the shelves from the top all the way down. I made sure to take in each title. I really went hard on making sure I appreciated all the books in there. I'm just saying, I was having a great time. But Second buy, let me read you guys the blurb. What would you sacrifice for an extra day of life? The devil picked that moment to announce in his usual cheerful manner the next item he'd make disappear. I couldn't think about anything anymore, so I said yes, just like that. At that point, the thought that it could happen to my cat Cabbage had never crossed my mind. This young man's days are numbered. Estranged from his family, living alone with just his cat Cabbage for company, he is unprepared for the doctor's diagnosis that he has only months to live. But before he can set about tackling his bucket list, the devil appears with a special offer. In exchange for making one thing in the world disappear, he can have one extra day of life, and so begins a very bizarre week. Because how do you decide what makes life worth living? How do you separate out what you can do without from what you hold dear? In dealing with the devil, our narrator will take himself and his beloved cat to the brink. If Cats Disappeared from the World is a beautifully moving tale of loss and reconciliation, of one man's journey to discover what really matters in modern life. Cabbage. If anything happens to Cabbage, we know something's going to happen to Cabbage. I'm going to need to be prepared to read this one, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. But is it going to make me cry? Absolutely. The third book from my book haul is, like the first, one I've been trying to stop myself buying. Why would I stop myself buying books, I hear you ask? I'm going delusional. Because I have so many on my TBR and I need to finish them. But I caved. I was on a book day. I'm there to enjoy myself. And that is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. It's got a cat on the cover. This just sounds like such a cozy read, and I'm really excited to read it. It's a romance. It sounds like it's going to be quite traditional, just, you know what you're getting into, reading easy, light read. Every so often you just need these, and it just sounds so autumnal. I really want to read it this autumn. But let me read you guys the blurb. When Jeannie's aunt gifts her the beloved Pumpkin Spice Cafe in the small town of Dream Harbour, Jeannie jumps at the chance for a fresh start away from her very dull desk job. Logan is a local farmer who avoids Dream Harbour's gossip at all costs, but Jeannie's arrival disrupts Logan's routine and he wants nothing to do with the irritatingly upbeat new girl, except that he finds himself inexplicably drawn to her. Will Jeannie's happy-go-lucky attitude win over the grumpy but gorgeous Logan, or has this city girl found the one person in town who won't fall for her charm or her pumpkin spice lattes? We know he gonna fall hard, she gonna fall hard, and we're gonna have some cozy ass lattes in this. It sounds like a super easy read. It might surprise me, it might not be what I'm expecting. But there's a cat on the cover, it's got coffee shop, it's gonna have some food. I'm ready. I'm so ready. The next two books are completely accidental. Completely. But I saw them and I couldn't put them down. Faybound by Sarah L. Arifi. Arifi? I apologize for the pronunciation. Sarah L. Arifi. This is a Sunday Times bestseller. Look how intriguing that looks. I'll read you guys the blurb of this one. Divided by blood, imprisoned by fate, bound by desire. Welcome to the intoxicating world of the Fae. It's about the Fae. You know I couldn't put this down once I saw it. Oh, and I'm a sucker for a map, and that map is beautiful. Let me read you guys the actual blurb. Urine was born on the battlefield, lived on the battlefield, and one day she knew she'd die on the battlefield. As a warrior in the Elven army, Urine has known nothing but violence her whole life. Her sister Lettel is trying to make a living as a diviner? Seeking prophecies of a better future. When a fatal mistake leads to Urine's exile from the Elven lands, both sisters are forced into the terrifying wilderness beyond their borders. There they encounter the impossible, the Fae Court. The Fae haven't been seen for a millennium, but now Urine and Lettel are thrust into their seductive world, torn between their loyalty to each other, their elven homeland, and their hearts. Faybound is the first book in an enchanting new trilogy from the Sunday Times best-selling author of The Final Strife. I have not read The Final Strife, so we'll see if I like this, and then I definitely should. It's bright red underneath. It's about the Fae, and I am a sucker for the Fae, so I'm excited to read this one. And the final book from my WaterStones book haul is Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan. How gorgeous does this look? If you're not new to my channel, you'll know I'm really into my Asian fairy tale literature right now, so I'm obsessed with Su Lin Tan. I really enjoyed Elizabeth Lim, so when I saw this, I immediately picked it up. It's like this kind of beigey colour underneath, which is intriguing. I was also, when I picked this up, had just read Deep Light by Frances Hardinge. If you haven't seen my review on that, that link is above me now, which is sea themed. So this being so sea themed really intrigued me. And yeah, it just looks like an easy, fantastical read. Look at the amount of reviews on the back, guys. It has so many. On the front, it has Prepare to be Engulfed, an unforgettable must-read fantasy, and that's from Shelley Parker Chan. There's so many reviews, guys. So many. Let me read you guys the blurb. Revolution is brewing in the semi-submerged city of Tenakawi, between humans and the Fathom Folk who live in its waters. This gloriously imaginative debut fantasy inspired by East Asian mythology and ocean folktales is a novel of magic, rebellion, and change. Welcome to Tenakawi, shining pearl of human civilization and a safe haven for those fleeing civil unrest. Or at least that's how it first appears. But in the semi-flooded city, humans are quite literally on top, peering down from the shining towers and aerial walkways on the Fathom Folk, sirens, sea witches, kelpies, and kappas, who live in the polluted waters below. For half-siren Mira, promotion to the captain of the border guard means an opportunity to help her downtrodden people. But if earning the trust and respect of her human colleagues wasn't hard enough, everything Mira has worked towards is put in jeopardy when Nami, a know-it-all water dragon, Fathom Folk princess, is exiled to the city under Mira's watch. When extremists sabotage a city's festival, violence erupts, as does the clampdown on Fathom Folk rights. Both Nami and Mira must decide if the cost of change is worth paying, or if Tenakawi should be left to drown. Ooh, how good does that sound? It had to happen, it was inevitable. So that is my 5 books from my WaterStones Bookdate book haul. So to recap, we have Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan with a load of great reviews. We have Fae Bound by Sarah L. Arifi, which it's about the Fae. It was inevitable. We have The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore, a easy sounding romance. We have If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genkai Kawamura, which sounds like I'm going to be distraught, but it'll be worth it. And finally, we have Days at the Murasaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagasawa, which is a massively best-selling read, inevitable translated Japanese fiction. So these are my 5 WaterStones book haul books. I think I compensated for Matt's strange decision to not buy any books. And that's it for this book haul. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy what you see. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel because I see as soon as I upload, click that little bell down below. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook and Tumblr. I post my book pictures as well as my writing tips and unboxings on there. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye!